the critical explanation or interpretation of a body of work. We examine the fandoms of young and old, looking from origin to ending and everywhere in between. They say you never truly know someone until you know what they are passionate about. Sit back and buckle up. Welcome to the Exegesis.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is February 29th, Leap Day. So anybody that is born today, you won't see another birthday for another 4 years. But you know what? Here's to you. I think I saw somewhere today that there was a guy who was 84 years old and finally able to celebrate his 21st birthday, and someone took him out for a drink. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, it has been a week. Still trying to recover after the weekend. This last weekend, managed to get up to Lubbock, which is about 2.5 hours away. And it was just me and the wife, and we got to participate in LubbockCon, which is Lubbock's Comic Con that they have. And we were there with the 501st, bunch of us from our garrison here in New Mexico went and made the trip over and got to spend time with some new people, made some new friends. Really enjoyed that weekend. A lot more walking around than what I've been used to, so I'm still a little sore. That and lugging around a Inferno Squad outfit and helmet, which is probably about 15 to 20 extra pounds of stuff. When you're not used to it and you haven't done it in 6 to 8 months, it really wears on you. So, but that's all right, because it kind of got me thinking, you know what? I love Inferno Squad, but maybe if I had a different costume that didn't have a big ass helmet and armor and whatnot, maybe it would be a little more comfortable. So I think I've convinced my wife to allow me to register for the 501st under Emperor Palpatine, my favorite character. So some robes, a mask, a couple of other small prosthetics, and I think it will work out well. The only thing that I'm kind of concerned with is the contact lenses. I'm not entirely sure how that is going to work. A lot of the places that I saw couldn't get my prescription in the cosmetic contacts. They would only go to about half. But you know what? As long as I have somebody kind of leading me the way, I bet the vision in half prescription contacts would be a lot better than trying to look through some red bubble lenses. So if you're trying to look through imagine looking through a small little goldfish bowl that is red and trying to figure out who in the world is talking to you when you have this helmet or this cone of silence around your head. But so we'll see. Been talking to some of my friends in Red 5 about different things. that would concern that costume. Danny with Comics and Cosmetics, thanks for all the input on the mask and how all that kind of stuff works. And we'll continue to talk and flush that out. It's not like it's going to be a overnight thing. It's a long process of research and then putting everything together and then coming up with the funds, because as most cosplay people know, materials don't come cheap, especially when you're talking about accurate replica masks. Just the mask alone, I've seen anywhere from, on the low end, $300 all the way up to $1,000 just for the mask, of varying degrees of difficulty or quality, maybe. Some of them have hair, some of them are just, it's got all the wrinkles, but it's bald. But, who cares? Because most of the time you have a hood on. So is hair really, that important? Whether it's mesh backed or if it's just regular silicone. How does it breathe? If I put it on, is it going to be just like sweating buckets down into my shoes because, and it's not going to fit properly because there's a river behind this mask of sweat. I don't know. Lots of work to do. But yeah. All right. So let's get to some housekeeping. Of course, welcome to the Exegesis. I am so glad that you are here. I have to get used to this new camera. Normally I have it up, but it wasn't sitting correctly, so I had to move it down. So I'll try to keep it down, keep my hands out in front. Don't know what to do with my hands. Anyway, but yeah, welcome to the Exegesis, the fandom analysis podcast, where we look at all things pop culture and try to figure out why people are even fans of this crud. Most of it, we just can't help it. It's just a trigger that's inside of us that we have to just engage that fan switch and just full on go into it. We do have bio links, of course. The bio links for this show. Oh, wrong one. This show is bio.link/exegesis, EXEGESIS. And as that intro did announce, we are a proud member of the Red 5 Network, a group, collective, if you will, of talented individuals who like to put out content of varying different degrees. Case in point, Comics and Cosmetics, that is here, that is hosted by Danny, and she does a wonderful job of makeup, cosplay, just costumes, everything. And then you have all that knowledge, and then you back it up by this super nerd pop culture, just steel trap of a mind that she has that can talk about any nerd thing and then somehow ties it all into her cosmetics. Is just amazing. So go check out her show, Comics and Cosmetics. It's on YouTube. It's on everywhere. Go check it. Go follow. You won't be disappointed. But we do have others that are there in the in our group as well. Scarif Podcast. We have WSTR, who always follows this show around 8:30 Mountain Time, or 7:30 Mountain Time, 8:30 Central. So yeah, go back to my banners. We can click that one off. And awesome. I did have some news for this week, but I'm not even going to play the intro for that. Let's just get straight into it. Typically, we look at what's been going on in the box office, since we are a fandom analysis podcast. So as of February 29th, around 2:40 Pacific time, that's about 4:40 this time. I think. I don't know. Time zones confuse me, and they confuse Ro. But yeah, around 2:30, maybe. Let's see, 3, 4, maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Ro time. Number one in the box office, Bob Mark One Love. We did talk about this a little bit last week. I believe it was streaming already on the service, plus in the theaters. It was number one last week. It has reached already $74 million. Ordinary Angels is a new one, I believe, that just came out. And so far that is at $8 million for this week. Let's see. Yeah, it came out this week. It's only been in the box office for 5 days. Number 3, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba something or other. Demon Slayer from Sony. New this week as well. It started off strong and really tapered off. Had an opening day of $5 million, but yesterday it only got maybe 700,000. And then number 4 is Madam Web. I guess kind of chugging along, if that's what you want to call it. So far in its total, $36 million. It's been out for 2 weeks. So that's $18 million that it's got in each of its weeks. I mean, compare that to something like Argyle that was not very popular in and of itself. It's only been out for 3.5 weeks, and it's already got $42 million. Jason Statham, action movie, The Beekeeper, $63 million. Animated movie, Migration. It's been out for a while, but it's got $120 million. There's no way in the world. Compare that to other things. Wonka, out for a while, 2.5 months. It's got $214 million. Madam Web won't see that if it's in the theaters for a year. It just not going to happen. Anyway, go back to the comments over here. Yes, Conversations is another podcast that we have in our Red 5 group. And excuse me while I pop this top. Oh, you know what? I don't think that I've shown off my new ink. So yeah, I did get a new tattoo sometime in December, and it's my first Star Wars piece. I'm gonna try to show this, and hopefully you can see. There we go. There's not a bad view of it. So it's R2-D2 in a Return of the Jedi motif. Super proud of that. Love it. Absolutely. Yes, Madam Web owes everyone an apology. I mean, man, I could talk about how horrible this movie is like all day long. And and I don't understand. I don't understand why Sony would go through the lengths of no, you can't have this title because it's ours and it's our property. Uh, Yet when we make movies, it'll be lucky if it clears $20 million. And if Marvel makes a movie, even if it's crap. All right. So that got me down a rabbit hole. Let's see. All right. Now let's see if I can figure out. So the Marvels is the lowest grossing installment of there. So let's see. All right. So the Marvels is the lowest grossing MCU movie. And they got $206 million. And I'm not talking about, don't care about, how much it cost, whether or not the movie was a flop, whether or not the movie sucked. I actually enjoyed the movie. Of course, not living near a theater, I wait till it comes out on streaming to watch it, or I'll buy it off of Prime. But I enjoyed the movie. Was it the greatest? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Would I watch it again? Maybe several months down the road, I might, throw it on. My kids have watched it several times. They really enjoyed it. It was just a lot of fun. They haven't watched a whole lot of the other ones. To me, anyway, they've seen a few of them, but they haven't watched like every Marvel movie. They didn't watch the Miss Marvel, the TV show. But we did have a family movie night and we watched the Marvels and they really liked it. In fact, they've watched it again. They thought it was super funny. They thought that, Flurkin, can't think of the Flurkin's name. But they loved it. Of course, my youngest was a little bit surprised and was like, "Why is there an octopus in that cat's mouth?" But yeah, they liked it. They thought it was just a fun goose. There it is. Thanks, Danny. But they just enjoyed it. It was just fun, they said. And yeah, man, I don't know. Anyway, I get sidetracked. So yeah, so there's the there's the movie business for this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. Let's see. Talked about that. All right, cool. I guess I can get to the main topic here, and I don't have a graphic for the main topic. I guess I need to make one. But I know I did one when I had a little more time on my hands. Did I see the new Superman suit? I did not. The logo, yes, I did. I did see the logo. Man, I don't know what to think about the new DCEU. Yes, it does look good. I really liked Man of Steel. I liked it. I thought Henry Cavill played a good Superman. Probably not the best Clark Kent, but was a good Superman. wasn't necessarily happy with the Lex Luthor thing. That was just kind of odd. And then it kind of went off the rails from there. Affleck was good, I think, as Batman, an older Batman. Loved Wonder Woman, but you throw them all together, and the writing was just awful. And we're going to get to some bad writing here soon. But I was really excited for what they're going to do. And they just pooped their pants. They just really, it never got any traction. And I don't know if it's because Snyder had to bow out a little bit. And then, it took forever for them to come out with a Snyder cut. And by that time, it was already too late. But yeah, I don't know. So this new DC stuff, I think it looks cool, but I'm kind of, it's got the kid gloves on where I don't know if I really want to get invested in it, because if I start to like it and then they pull the rug out from under me yet again, how many chances am I going to give a movie studio to make a decent movie? Well, I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan, so there goes that idea, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, they do have some time to get it together. I think that as long as they have one guy pulling the strings, and giving the direction of where it needs to go, I think that will help things. And we'll touch on a little bit of that in this one. I agree. That's really all they have. If this doesn't work, then I think Warner Brothers is just going to shut that down. Probably sell the properties off to someone else to do. But all right, so main topic. This year is the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace. And all right, give me 1 second here. I'll be right. Hold on. All right, I apologize for that. My kid came home and was strumming away on his guitar, and I'm like, dude, I can hear you right through the walls. Anyway, so we got that going. All right, so yes, the Phantom Menace. Came out in 1999. I still remember where I was when they announced. Sorry, still hands again. When they announced that they're going to do this, I guess it was announced in 97, I think, was when it was announced that they were going to do it, and that we're going to get more Star Wars movies. And I'm telling you, the excitement level was just absolutely, as the kids call it, off the chain, I think is what they say. I don't know. But yeah, we were all so excited that we were finally getting more Star Wars movies, because up to this point, we didn't have much other than books. in comics and the rare video game that would come out. Shadow of the Empire was the biggest one, and that came out, just to make sure I have it correct, 1996. And with that one, they had a Nintendo 64 game. There was the book by Steve Perry, not Journey Steve Perry, but another Steve Perry. Or was it Journey Steve Perry? Now, that would be interesting if the lead singer of Journey wrote a Star Wars book. Comics and all sorts of tie-ins in 1996. And it was like, oh my goodness, this is like Nirvana. Heaven has come, and we get to revel in all of this Star Wars glory. And then it kind of would, it kind of went away for a little while. And then we just got a few more EU novels in its stead, and it was quiet. And then all of a sudden, it came out. Hey, Andrew joined the chat. Welcome, Andrew, too. How are you? Hopefully you're having a good night. But yeah, it was just incredible. And then to find out that, hey, it's actually George Lucas that's going back and doing this. And not only is he going to be doing this, that it's going to be a trilogy, and we're going to find out the origins of Darth Vader, which, I mean, it was cool. I mean, I was kind of hoping that we'd get more of a Emperor backstory, which I guess kind of we did, but everyone knows that I'm a huge Emperor fan, and Return of the Jedi is the greatest Star Wars movie ever made. If you don't like that, oh, okay, that's fine. There, we can all have our favorites. But yeah, so excited to be getting that, and we just really didn't know what was going on. And yeah, I'll show you what you could do with that Empire. Anyway. All right, there we go. My screen went dark for some reason. I'm like, what happened? Anyway. So then, we start seeing, promotional photos and movie posters coming out. And I think we get the most iconic one ever. Let's see if I can pull it up here and figure out how to. This one. All right. Now let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Let's do this. All right. And then if I come back over here and I go, I think this might work. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still technology. I'm old, folks. Give me a chance. All right, I'll share that and see if this works. All right. So yeah. So then we get that iconic image of young Anakin in the shadow across the Tatooine hut. It looks menacingly like Darth Vader. When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be good. And then, was really excited. Got the popcorn and went to the movie theaters and hear the opening music yet again. And it took me back to when I was younger. It was what 1999. Um, 12 years before we had gotten, in between movies. Um, so, yeah, I mean, the excitement was there. And then, yeah, I was like, okay, well, we'll see where this goes. I wasn't quite as impressed with it as I was the original trilogy. And uh, there were some good points and some bad points, and I guess I could talk about some of the bad points. Um, yeah, I know there's a lot of the audience that wasn't alive during or in 1999 when that came out. Again, that's 25 years ago. Um, so none of my kids were alive at that point. I was let's see, 18, 19. I was 22 when that came out. So, um, yeah, 22. But yeah, it was some of the things that I did not like because we'll start there. Um, I thought some of the pacing was off. Um, there were quite a few number of scenes that just started great, but just didn't hit the mark by the end. Um, I didn't quite um, I didn't quite get Jar Jar. Um, I mean, I understand the character, but I don't know why they had to make him the way that he was, and that's no strike against Ahmad Best because I think he did well with the role and what was given to him. Uh, but I just, man, I don't know. I couldn't get into it. For him, I loved the pod racing scene. I just thought it was a little too long. Um, and uh, then I really think, and I know that you might not be able to see the whole name across the screen because I'm not looking at YouTube, but on my screen it's there. Darth Maul got the shaft, uh, literally and figuratively. Um, Such a cool looking character with such an immense story behind him for what 5 minutes of screen time. um I yeah, I just in because at that time, even though no one's ever really gone, you kind of felt like that he was, because as far as we knew, Palpatine fell down a reactor shaft and he was gone. Darth Maul fell down a reactor shaft and he's gone. So as far as we knew, that was the end of his story. Um, Even in the other trilogies, you didn't, or the other two of this trilogy, you didn't get anything else from Darth Maul. It wasn't until later that he makes a reappearance. Spoiler for those that might not know that. Uh, I really think that he was shortchanged. Was a really, really good character, and could have possibly been um, this trilogy's Darth Vader had he been handled correctly. But you know, give it a pass, I guess, because the the maker was back in charge, or was making movies, and um, so we felt like we were going to be in good hands. Some of the things I did like, um, loved seeing a younger Obi-Wan. I thought Ewan McGregor did a great job being cast in the role. I loved being introduced to Qui-Gon. I thought that he was the perfect Jedi. Um, we got to see Yoda again, although when it came out in 1999, the graphics still were a little wonky, but we got to see him a little bit. Other people got to make appearances. You got to see the Emperor a little bit. We got to be introduced to Padme, which was really cool. I loved the set pieces. Naboo was absolutely gorgeous. I loved that city. It was just absolutely amazing. Graphics were really good, a lot better than what we had seen in the previous trilogy. Yes, yeah, absolutely, cinematically stunning. The music, the sound, everything, just it felt like Star Wars. Clunky dialogue and everything. Um, we got to see R2. We got to see 3PO, although he wasn't finished yet. You know, I don't know. It was good. It just wasn't near the level of where or what I thought was going to be. Um, I'm trying to figure out where's my. Oh, it's over here on this one. Because there were some points over here that I was going to get into. That's not it. Yeah. I was trying to think of why the Phantom Menace really did get a bad rap from the fan base. It's the story that George Lucas wanted to tell. And I think that's really the start of the downfall of the Star Wars fan base, because a lot of people weren't given what they thought that they were entitled to. And it's still going on today. Oh, that's not my Star Wars. Who says? And you're really going to pan, uh, the guy that you lauded for how many years now, because you don't like his direction of the property that he created. I always thought that was just kind of odd to me. And some people might, disagree with that, but it's his property, and we just live in it and live through it. But there are some things that I thought, just didn't make sense. Again, the dialogue was a little clunky. And it was another big thing that people just really didn't like. It was the introduction of midichlorians. So in the first three, we kind of got a brief introduction to the Force and what the Force is and what it can do. And uh, as Obi-Wan says, it's in us, around us, and it ties us all together. Um, and we took it as that here's the creator telling us, all right, this is what we think it is. And then it almost seems like in the Phantom Menace, he changes directions and gives a name to the Force. It's they're more like parasites that involve the cells, and it's more of a living, breathing thing than a connection. Um, and yeah, it was a lot of people just didn't like that. So depending on your midichlorian count was kind of how much you could use the Force. Um, okay, it doesn't really make sense, but even now, where it seems like they're saying that anyone and everyone can use the Force. It just depends on how much practice that you give it. Try really hard, folks, and you can use the Force too. It doesn't, you take it from here, and then instead of keeping it straight, it kind of veers out this way to be all encompassing. And I really, hey, it's my opinion, but you're listening in, so I figure you'd like to hear what I thought on it. Um, keep it narrow. Keep it detailed. It doesn't have to include just everything. Uh, the Force should be something that you get to see every now and then, and not necessarily everyone and their monkey's uncle or monkey lizard's uncle can use the Force. I don't know, just me. And again, it was lots of set pieces that just seemed to kind of drag on. Went to Naboo, back to Tatooine, and then from Tatooine go back to Naboo. I really think that if they should have included a third major set piece in that, just to kind of give us a uh, little more visualization. Um, but yeah, it's hard to believe that the movie's been out for 25 years. It doesn't really seem that long. I just watched it again. Um, last week, the week before, I watched all 9 movies. Yes, including the sequel trilogy. Um, but yeah, man. So yeah, not a whole lot going on in the chat tonight. I know I'd kind of get the notification a little late, but I have a busy work week this week and getting ready for. I have to take a trip next week for work, so my time has been a little bit limited on that. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Phantom Menace. Was it good? Was it okay, or was it bad? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If you're just now listening to it, go back and join in the chat, or just answer in the comments. Danny says it's not the best, but definitely not the worst. Not the worst is in big caps. I agree. It's not the best, and I enjoyed. Let me throw this out there. When George Lucas wrote Star Wars, he originally wrote it in 9 parts, or 3 parts. I guess 3 parts. And when he wanted to make a movie about it, he was trying to decide which one of these parts would make the best pitch to sell. And he picked the middle part. Not sure why, but that's what he picked. And if he thought that the middle part was the best for him to sell, and I would definitely agree with him that it was the best part to sell. And he got so much flack for the story as it was. No one really wanted to make the film according to his initial pitch, and only until he made some things about marketing and licensing and whatnot, which is where George Lucas made most of his money, was off of the merchandising and licensing part of Star Wars. Um, yeah, I think he was correct. He chose the best part to make and to sell, and we bid into it hook, line, and sinker. And he wanted us to see the remaining parts. So he went back to the beginning and said, "All right, well, now that I have the technology, I'm going to dust up the new ones or the old ones." And those came out in 1997 when they did the remakes into the special editions into the theaters. And once he was satisfied with that, he was like, "All right, well, let's go back and make the original or the first part." And then got so much flack for it. I think that kind of scared him off from making the third part. And then when they came up to him about doing it, he was like, "All right, well, I'm going to just sell it off, and you guys can do that. Here's my ideas." And they're like, "Yeah, no." And they take his ideas and throw them in the trash. I'd still would love to see from George Lucas his idea for the third act. Really, really do. All right, so now I'm curious. Danny posted that still pissed about the special editions. All right, so we have to have a discussion because why are you pissed about the special editions? Now I'm curious. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, yeah. They. I wish they had not um, changed some of the things. I liked a lot of what they did as far as cleanup. Um, like being able to see out the windows of the X-wing on the trench run. Great, because in the original you couldn't see out the windows very well. Um, just other things that they did to clean up the aesthetics of it. I don't necessarily like what they what they did, especially at the end with the celebration. All right, that's fine. But yeah, they did take away the Ewok song. Uh, I didn't like seeing uh, um, Hayden Christensen at the end of Return of the Jedi when the Force Ghost came out. I think they should have left it the way that it was. Because when Vader died, he died an old man. He wasn't, Return of the or Revenge of the Sith, Anakin. That was one of my big pet peeves on that. I didn't like the burping toad or whatever that was at the beginning of Return of the Jedi. Uh, but it is what it is. So yeah, all right. Well, that might have to be a topic for the near future. Special editions of movies. Why can't they just leave well enough alone? and just, you released what we got. And other than a few cosmetic changes, leave it alone. Leave it alone. But anyway, so hey, that's all I got for tonight. Really do appreciate, my hands getting in the way again. Everyone being here, Andrew and Danny for being in the chat. Yeah, it's next week. I don't even remember what I'm supposed to do next week, and I don't have my other computer in here to pull up my spreadsheet, but I am supposed to have a podcast next week. It will be live from a different city, because I will be out of town for work. But yeah, so thanks for listening in. Thanks for those in the chat. Thank you again, Danny, for hanging by my side while we did this. Yeah, all right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the rest of your week, and do something fun this weekend. Until then, be kind to yourself and to others.